We're good now.
Are we good? Hello, greetings and salutations, our fine people that are tuning into the stream.
Cut out Arch entirely.
You cannot do that. I transcend cuts.
He can edit it to where it just mutes the sound every time you talk.
Places it with a laughing track.
Yeah. That'd be great. Can you just edit it to where every time Brendan talks, it's just a laughing track that drowns him out?
No. I'll use the recording I have of him screaming "Hallowed Ground" and then just put that in all of his lines.
You have a recording of that?
Of course.
Can you give me a sample of that?
Let me see if I can find it. I don't think it might not actually be on this computer, so I might have to get a new one. But I
Oh my God.
recording from when we were doing rating. I just sampled it out of the stream that we did for Nenners.
I'm so... You guys are goofs.
It's dark. Where are we?
Bottom of the screen to scroll.
Alright, that would help. I can't see anything.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. We're off in the corner.
Yep. We're all waiting here for, the guards and everyone to show up and be angry at us.
Are we all ready?
I believe we are.
Yeah, I think so.
Archie dead.
I'm here. I'm ready to go.
Alrighty then. It is the middle of the night still. You are standing next to a zombie. The Nekomata has disappeared to go do Nekomata things. And you can hear the sound of people actually finally moving and walking slowly towards your spot. A good deal of the household seems to be on the way. You're not really 100% sure what you want to do. Are you still arguing about what to say?
Well, if this is immediately afterwards, I know that Katsuo is leaning against the broken debris and is incredibly silent, eyes closed while he thinks what to do. Whereas internally, he is screaming at the top of his lungs.
Is this because of the pain, or...
No, he has no idea what to do.
Clearly, we just need to blame everything on Hachisuka.
What a sound plan!
My God.
Jeez.
Let's pin this on the character that's not essential.
Fuck all of you. By the end of this, Hachisuka's just gonna go off and start
This is not something that your character is aware of, by the way. We're not all plotting against you.
We're just kidding.
Well,
He's literally the one that's there to pay for everything for you guys.
We kind of need him because
Hachisuka-
he's got our money.
My character wouldn't even consider doing that to begin with.
Turn to Hideaki. Our words may be tainted, but the words of the priest can tell the truth. They will not debate what you say. Speak for us and tell them what has occurred.
Yes, I believe honesty would probably be the most fitting situation for this.
That's not particularly likely. I don't believe they would believe the truth in its entirety, my lord.
Even then,
There's a zombie.
Well, we don't have many options here.
if they want to play...
Tell the truth. We just might need omit a few details here or there.
That is acceptable, but regardless, it's highly possible that no matter what we say, they have already intended to fabricate something from the start.
Well, let us see.
As you are waiting there, finally a few figures approach. One of them you recognize as Botan. Botan-san strolls up. From the rest of the group, you can see a few of his retainers, and you see what looks like a sort of junior of the shrine, but you don't see the odd twins anywhere, and you don't see any other sort of priest. You just see Botan and his retainers.
What do they say as they approach us?
Do they have tokens, or...?
No, they don't have tokens.
Okay.
Ken's like, no.
No. Here, I'll tell you what. I'll go get you token.
We don't need to worry about the tokens.
Okay. No, they stroll up. They're all right here. They walked through this door here. A few of the retainers are still kind of hanging by the door. Botan sees the damage to the wall. And the obvious signs of a fight. He doesn't immediately actually notice the corpse of his father. What he actually sees are his cats.
Still
Uh,
not over.
Oh wait, what? One's on my shoulder.
Yeah. And he looks at the lot of you in confusion, and then finally says, "What happened?"
Kato says as he clears his throat. He looks Botan straight in the eye, clearly not his superior nor his underling. They are equal for now. And he glances over towards the dead body. Your father committed sorcery and was plaguing these lands with the undead and witchcraft.
Well,
He looked-
we've jumped the shark now.
He looked aghast and confused, and looked down at the assistant priest figure. And you see that they actually sort of nod and look incredibly relieved. And Botan gives you an incredibly stern look, and then finally steps aside and says, "You should come back inside, and we'll discuss this in the morning."
I would prefer we discuss it now, considering that an attempt on my life was made.
Considering the hour, it would be best for all if everyone gained a little rest so we can discuss this refreshed in the morning, and the undesirables can be called to remove what remains of my father.
At this, Katsuo glances over towards his retinue for their silent advice.
Chino
Hachisuka offered a shrug.
gives a very subtle yawn as if to go along with Botan's suggestion.
And what about you, Bald Priest?
Hideaki gestures you with a slight nod, indicating that he believes that Lord Botan has the right of it and that we should get some rest before we discuss this. We are, after all, in his house.
It's also probably like 4 in the morning.
Very well. Let us retire for the evening. But we must discuss this come dawn.
Understandable and acceptable. As he waves you inside, some of the servants run off, probably to fetch those that are assigned the task of carrying a body. And the young priest follows Botan in, or the shrine worker follows Botan in to have a quieter conversation out of immediate hearing, but they're obviously discussing something. And you are all led back to your rooms,
where we assume
where we assume you go to sleep, or at least attempt to sleep and rest. You get a rather fitful night, but at least it's over and it's quiet for the time being. In the morning, you are summoned and led to the central hall, and you look over and you see an actual priest sitting next to their young apprentice, the young monk that was obviously staying in their shrine. And it is a fairly young gentleman, maybe that looks to be about the same age as Hideaki, though they're not a spirit person. And they look much relieved to see you. And Botan looks at you a little awkwardly and picks up one of the kittens, the one that had not been following Hachisuka around, and gives you sort of an awkward frown. And then once he bids you seat, he slowly lowers himself in a bow and says, I owe you a debt of greatest thanks. It seems my father had been planning things without the knowledge of most of us here.
Thank us not, for we did not know what we were doing. I had merely assumed that we were of survival, though it is good that this evil has been relieved from your lands.
And for that we still, even though you claim it was not something you knew, we owe you a great debt. And we will seek to assist you in your current task more efficiently than we had before.
You have my gratitude in this, and it is heartily accepted.
As I understand it, you are making your way north towards the small mountain passes, and there are a number of roads. I know that you had initially planned a fairly particular route, but as this had occurred and my father was enacting things outside of my understanding, I might suggest you take a different path, and there are a few options available to you.
At this, Katsuo nods his head and agrees to listen.
Our lands have a number of interesting features. There's a small swamp that flanks us to the west that comes off of the river which you sailed up. Then there is a great forest that cuts past the roads. It may be a little faster, though more confusing. And then when you reach the end of the forest, there is a canyon path that will also connect to the swamps. It will all loop you up to a rather confusing canyon route, but it is the most efficient way to get where you wish to go.
Tell us more of this swamp.
The swamp is fairly well known. They say it has a few benevolent spirits within it, and we've had only minor problems with some of the inhabitants. Wolves live in the forest, but they don't seem to wander to the swamp. And those that seek banditry on the road also tend to avoid the swamp, so it may be your clearest path, if not the most troublesome to traverse.
So you're basically offering us a choice between easy terrain but possibility of bandits and difficult terrain but very few assaults.
Yes.
What is the most expedient course?
They just told you that.
It's the swamp, or not swamp?
It's the forest.
The forest, yeah. Interesting. I'm assuming then that this forest path has some sort of battlements or watchtowers.
Not so close to the woods. It's in agreement with the villages along that route.
At this, Arch looks to his council for consideration.
Hachisuka spoke first, since I guess he was his advisor. Personally, I do not wish to go through the swamp. Many of our men will not be able to traverse with the carts we have brought. I would say we could probably make it through the forest, and we could definitely make it through the roads. Mere bandits do not worry me too much. But if the former lord of this state did set up more, the bandits could be more well versed in combat than most. I would say the forest would be the best path for us as long as it was not too confusing and we had some way to get through easily.
I am in agreement.
I am in agreement with Mr. Hachizuka as well.
As am I. And though I may have a solution to our navigation issues in the forest, if they arise.
Then it is settled. We shall take the path through the forest, then.
Then we will make sure you are well supplied for this trip. And he waves a hand and sends his retainers out to fetch the necessary supplies you'll need, and a few extra horses, some carts, anything you might have misplaced and that you can't pull off of your ship. He seems to move fairly quickly. Everybody bustles around as needed, grabbing things. He sits fairly quietly, and then finally, after a few minutes, he actually looks over at Hachisuka and says, do you intend on taking my cat?
Hachisuka looked to the cat on his shoulder. No, he just seemed very comfortable. I am not one to move a cat that has nestled itself. But when I do leave, I shall make sure he returns to a warm blanket in my quarters. Or former quarters, I suppose now.
Guest quarters.
That.
He nods at you, mostly satisfied at hearing this explanation, and sets down the kitten he had been holding, and it runs along to do kitten things, attacks the screen. Hang on a second, I need some water. Okay, there we go. The cat runs off, and you are left in the relative quiet as Botan gets up from his place and sort of leaves you to your own devices to mill about and discuss what had happened. They do bring you something of a map. It's not necessarily the most helpful, as it doesn't map the forest the forest very accurately. But you can see where it connects to the city, and it mentions a few old ruins, and you can see where it connects to the canyon that you need to navigate up. This is all, of course, handed over to Hachisuka.
Of course it is. Because that's his job.
Yep.
Indeed, you don't give that to the prince. The prince doesn't do that. He has people to do that for him.
Hachisuka nods and excuses himself to go look over all this stuff. I'm guessing some of our troops are starting to walk around now as well, helping.
Yeah, they're collecting things, getting things settled.
I'm gonna roll a stealth check real quick.
Okay.
Because Hachisuka doing Hachisuka things.
Okay, what is Hachisuka doing?
I'm super stealthy. He, between looking over the map, he wrote a letter of everything that happened, including the seal that the former lord gave in the scroll, and also the sketch, which I'll do a yeah, the sketch of the bell and the legend and all that as well, including basically everything that happened to them occurred due to their negligence, and sealed that up and gave it to one of his troops, and that's why I need the stealth check, because he wanted to make sure no one saw that, and he told the troop to give it to that friendly merchant to pass off back at his port to get back to the capital.
Alrighty.
Making your secret reports.
Secret.
Yes, but also, his main rival just fucked up majorly, and the spy master should know about that.
Yeah.
Hachisuka might not be the best advisor in Second Man, but he gets the job done.
Yep.
And then he died.
And then he started dying.
There we go. Stealthy stuff.
Okay.
Hachisuka probably returns after studying the map and looking over any maps they had of the area and kind of trying to, do you want me to do it's not a dungeoneering roll anymore.
No. No,
Investigation.
you're just looking over the maps. What do you want to know about?
I just want to, the handmade map that they gave us, plus, maps of the area. I kind of want to, trace them over and get, a good idea of...
Probably the best map of the area.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay.
It's not amazing, but it's the best map you got.
Okay.
There might have been better maps at one time, but they're gone.
These forests and swamps, do our monks know anything about these regions, or are they completely new?
They would probably be pretty new to your priests and monks. Not the most familiar, unfortunately. But it's at least a fairly interesting place. The forests do have some old shrine ruins. And there are, of course, a few very important ones to, the primary deities of the pantheon. That naturally, as it is a forest, there is there's probably a guardian spirit somewhere within it that would watch over these shrines. It's probably what is entailed in some of the ruins. The one frustration of this forest will be that some of the tree cover will make it more difficult to see. But at the very least, it offers you a little more protection. As for the swamp, swamps are actually usually pretty rife with interesting spiritual creatures and that
I'll
kind
be
of
right
thing. Okay.
Roger. So spiritual creatures are in the swamp.
Possibly. They're sort of all over the place, but swamps are they're dangerous, so usually people avoid them, so they tend to become sort of infested with pseudo-supernatural creatures.
Also, my favorite thing about our next forest adventure.
Well, you are a tree, aren't you?
Something like that.
The other nice thing is you do, because you slept so well, you got a nice long rest, so if you need to reset anything, do so.
No level ups though, right?
No level ups though, no.
Then I'll be ready to go on the next adventure into the forests. Whenever we're done, unless Botan keeps talking to Katsuo throughout the day.
He would probably make welcome back. He would probably make a few comments and then honestly just avoid you.
Can Katsuo tell if it's like avoidance out of shame or avoidance like you're still my rival? Okay.
Avoidance that you're not very close friends and his family just did something super embarrassing, so it is much easier to just avoid you and go about his business because you already know what you're doing.
Does he think that I know that what he did was shameful and that gives me sort of clout or at least some power over him, or is this something that...
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that you have just scored a huge fucking, like, point. Yeah.
You're ahead of the race, basically.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that the Everlands don't know about this just yet.
Not
Or
yet.
would Katsuo need to send a letter to his father talking
That's
about
probably
their
not a bad
travels?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's why I'm
probably a good
assuming Katsuo would probably be writing a letter throughout the night, talking about their exploits, progress on the mission, as well as the events that unfolded, and sending it via one of his courier pigeons for his army, because he wouldn't trust that with anyone else's,
Okay.
to go back to the mainlands of the Kageyori.
Okay. So he sends a message out to his father and his father's advisors, and probably your younger brother. Hachisuka, you just sent a message to that friendly merchant. You didn't actually like try and talk to the merchant, right?
I had one of my soldiers do it. Like
Okay.
stealth.
It's just a message, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he wouldn't risk it, especially with the landscape right now, talking to him directly.
Yeah. Okay.
Hachisuka's smarter than that. He may not seem it.
While you are talking with some of your men, did you inquire at all about anything else? Like, is there anything else you want to ask before you head out?
To the men?
To anybody.
We had a bunch of time during the day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then let me do another quick stealth check to see if I could sneak out and, like, ask, like, a few of the nicer people around town about the forest and see if there's anything shady.
Okay.
You're not very
Yeah, not super sneaky. If someone was, maybe a few people saw me, but not, like, blatantly going out and asking.
Yeah. A few people recognize you, but for the most part, they see you as the kind of jovial guy that kept buying rounds, the night before. They tell you a bit of the forest. You hear a few rumors about the kind of interesting, ruins that seem to be out there. They say, it might have been some catacombs. You know that the forest does have a few bandits, but it's really, the sort of par for the course. Their bigger worry seems to be of other things and some of the disrepair of the shrines. That definitely seems to be the more important thing to them, especially since no one can comfortably and easily get north to see some of the more northern shrines that connect with it, so they don't know what kind of state they're in. You do know recently, though, last night even, that a merchant that had been trying to travel north had turned back and sent word that they managed to catch sight of the village where you guys are heading, but then got lost in a blizzard and were forced back down the mountain.
Winter is coming.
Hachisuka nodded and thanking the person who decided to share all this with him. And on his way back, he did a quick run by of that the shrine right next to the sea.
Okay.
Anything crazy up there? Because that seemed to be where they were going often. It's where he was first brought. It's where all the creepy doll
You discover that the younger priest and the monk there as his assistant are cleaning it up very diligently. They're walking around with a small bell. They're purging bad spirits. They are doing their best to repair the damage that had been wrought to their shrine. The priest actually very embarrassedly bows to you, and his monk does as well, and they thank you for your assistance in removing the spirit that of the former priestess that had managed it and had come back and driven him out.
Hachisuka bowed his head back. She was not so ill understanding as many of the spirits I have encountered, but you are quite welcome. I do have questions, however, if you would be so kind to assist.
Certainly. How can we help you?
I have heard of the disrepair to the shrines in the forest. Is there... I am not well acquainted with the deities of this area. Mayhaps you can put us together a small package to assist us in pleasing those spirits throughout our journey? As I have heard, their shrines may be tainted.
He actually brightens quite a lot, and he and the monk bow and then part from your presence for a moment, going into the back of the shrine, disappearing for a few minutes. And when they return, he holds out a very carefully wrapped package, and it seems to contain a number of fruit. Each one has a little bell, and then each one has its own little package of mochi.
As this conversation is going on, there's a commotion at the entrance to the temple, as a small collection of guards and Shino approach it.
Guards?
You wouldn't let your priestess go out alone.
Yeah.
Okay, for a second I thought Shino had assumed command.
No.
No.
I was like, Jesus!
Yeah, she's
This is
being
Shino's
escorted.
party now.
I'm in charge.
I have altered the quest. Pray I don't alter it again.
Okay, so where is Shino headed?
She's coming towards the temple.
Okay.
Would Hideaki not be with her?
It's up to you.
We'll just say that I'm accompanying her as well.
Okay.
All right. As you two approach, you see the priest and monk talking with Hachisuka and handing over a number of shrine offerings, as well as cleansing bells, and apologizing actually for being unable to offer any other charms or paper to help surround it. But he promises that at some point he will acquire these things and set out himself.
Kino takes the sight of Hachisuka in for a moment, clearly surprised that he's preempted her purpose in coming here. Though it's not the only one.
Bowed his head to the priest and looked at Shino with a simple smile and went on his way back. He got what he needed.
As he passes, she turns her attention to the young priest.
He bows and acknowledges you and greets you, asking, what can he do for you?
Actually, I've come to render my own assistance in the purification of your temple.
As have I.
Is Cam dead?
I have no idea.
No, Andy wanted my attention. Yeah, sorry.
You're fine.
I can't hear both of you at the same time. He bows once again in thanks and steps aside to let you in, and actually holds out, oh crap, what are they called?
Describe it, and we could probably tell you.
Yeah, they're little Shinto priests. There are a bunch of bells attached to sticks, and there's usually a ribbon that extends off of them, and Shinto priests carry them. And all of a sudden, I cannot think of what they're called. What are they called? You see Miko with them. Anyway, it's they're I'll get you a picture. Suzu. Yeah, okay. They're called yeah, that
okay.
thing. They're called Suzu. And he he holds one out to Shino with reverence and goes to collect a different bell instead for himself, a singular bell, as his monk follows the lot of you around with incense to continue purging. And I'm assuming Shino knows how to do the dance that goes with the Suzu to cleanse the shrine. So you spend your day doing that. They have Hideaki carry around one of the larger bells in accompaniment to thoroughly purify their shrine and look at you with the deepest and most heartfelt of thanks at the end of the day when everything is cleansed and clean. So what's Katsuo up to?
This is the next day, correct?
It's the day after. It is now probably the evening of the day after you killed the.
So basically, what did you do today?
Yeah, I know you were writing a bunch of letters. Did you do anything else?
Well, besides the bunch of letters, he would be continuing his practices of all his different things. Everything from sword training to his tactical strategy, going over old scrolls of history and lore. Basically, he does what he does every single day. He's not exactly a man to go wandering around the city for curiosities and such. He is a man of rigid discipline and follows to his set.
You're not capitalizing on this major boon you've gotten over your opponent in any way?
That is the thing. Katsuo as a character is not good at politics.
I see.
These things do not cross his mind unless someone brings them up to him like his advisor should.
No one pointed out that, look, you're fucking Johnny on top for a day.
I feel like
Nope.
nobody would point this out to him. It's kind of something he
Yeah,
has to
it'd be
realize on
pretty-
his own.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's not something that he does. He's
Well-
realized that by just his logic thinking of he got a one up on his rival is he told his dad about it and his letters, and that was
Be
about
proud
it.
of me.
Aren't I great, Dad? Don't you love me yet?
Yes. Pretty much.
Hachisuka just showing major shade and possible these people aren't to be trusted ever again.
Yeah.
Kind of things in the
Yeah.
background.
Yeah, this is why Katsuo is struggling because he's not.
Courteous and helpful, and making them feel
Katsuo-
better than everybody else. By being
Indeed,
nice.
and Katsuo is not a statesman, so that's why he's not taking advantage of
Really
this.
nice.
That's what I mean.
He's just
Everybody but Arch is capitalizing on this, which is the funny part, because he's the one who needs to.
It's okay. At the very least, Arch, because you stayed in the castle complex, you discover that apparently Botan, or at least the Sound clan, really like cats. Of this kitten family, there are 3 actual adult cats, and there seem to be about 10 kittens that would, throughout your day of training, randomly charge through, kind of get in your way in the cute little kittenish way. Jumping around, enjoying themselves, and occasionally, stomping across your letters.
This pleases Katsuo immensely, even though he is sad that his letters get ruffled up every now and then because he takes such diligent work with his calligraphy, which is impeccable, might I add. But the cats prove too good, and he constantly takes time to pet them and scratch behind their ears if he is allowed. He does hear words then of this love of cats, which he does save for later. But again, he is not of a political mind, so he's not thinking how he could exploit this for further uh, gain. He is but a simple young man, intent on completing his quest as his father bade him, and that is his duty.
Getting a cat can wait until he's done.
Yes. He can't bring a small kitten on the road to fight the savages of the north. Preposterous!
That was a good point.
Yeah. So, evening hits. You were all, of course, treated to an incredibly lavish dinner. We left Hachisuka there. Boop.
Oh god.
You were treated to an incredibly lavish dinner. It's as exorbitant and spoiling as humanly possible. There's, you naturally have performers. The food is amazing. They hold nothing back in this evening of entertainment. But Botan very clearly makes a point of avoiding eye contact with at least Katsuo and being somewhat awkward with Hachisuka. However, his retainers and his retainers have a drastically easier time talking to your two priests, and laud them for coming to the assistance of their own shrine.
Is the priest of their shrine present at this?
No, he is still at their shrine.
Now, the lauding, is that just for Hideaki and Shino, or is that also considered something that Katsuo put them up to?
They don't know. Our motivations are never explained, and they don't question them.
Well, I guess, is it assumed, or is it more like people are just like, I don't know what they're doing, but okay.
You would get some reflected glory from it, regardless.
Yeah. You are now held in higher esteem. But the people actually getting the thanks are your two priests for showing up and doing this and helping them and blessing their shrine with their presence just for being spirit folk.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. And naturally, you've got a few of the older courtiers who, are drinking heavily and commenting every once in a while about the old priestess and how she was actually of Hachisuka's family. She had been a river spirit folk, and how. No, I'm sorry, not Hideaki. Sorry, yeah, we're so terrible. Well, the problem is I looked down for a second to see the names, and it just says Arch, Core, Roman, Andrew.
We're helpful like that.
Yeah, you're so fucking helpful. But yes, she was of Hideaki's family, a river spirit folk, and they comment on how well she kept the shrines in the forest and even the small shrines in the swamp. And they talk about the few pilgrimages she had made north to visit her actual family. She is one of the rare spirit folk that actually had siblings.
And parents, apparently. And parents, apparently.
Well, you assume they're siblings. They don't mention her parents, but there were 3 of them, and they seemed to be triplets. So you at least assume they're siblings. But the drunken courtier, one particularly elderly guy, talks about this and tells you of the time that they had escorted her north to visit her sisters.
Does he mention if these sisters still live there?
He's not sure. Obviously no one has been there in a while, and the priestess passed on due to an unfortunate death caused by, you saw half of the reason, but she had been escorting the Lord, and that's when you basically glean the idea that Lord Sohn had probably been attacked or something had caused his death, and the priestess, in her intense fondness for him, gave up the incredibly long lifespan she had, and retired to the insides of the castle keep, so that he could still live and she could maintain him as a mostly living figure for a while.
It's kind of neat to know we have that kind of power.
But what would have caused his corruption?
He's undead.
Yeah, he's undead, and he had ambitions, and it just started going worse and worse and worse and worse.
And we would just know that
We would know
as a given.
how it would work, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd know the fact that you can give up
As
a chunk of your...
A bit of history, undead in Eastern mythology aren't necessarily evil, it's their intentions that affect them directly.
Yeah. And when his ambition got out of hand, it started corrupting him, and the priestess could no longer maintain him, and of course she loved him, so...
Bad stuff happened.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okie dokes. Anybody else have any fun-filled questions?
I guess Katsuo would be grilling Boto, not so much grilling, but basically trying to gather purely military information about anything they know of these savages to the north or the parties that are there. Because he knows that some tribes are either in danger of seceding or are being overrun. And he would want to know purely all the defensive and military information that they have of the region.
Yeah. He would comment, he knows a little bit of the Hitano, which is the large northern clan that had initially allied with and worked with the frozen savages of the far, far north. They used to be fairly amicable, even though they're only recent allies of both the Kagayori and the Soen family. However, they were closer to the Soen first, just due to trade. The elderly head of the clan is the last one they spoke to. His son was only just beginning to come into his own. And of the Hitanos, you would find out that they seem to get along far more closely to those far northern savages, to the peoples. They don't call them savages anymore. They call them by their family names. You think he comments sort of offhandedly and with an awkward, bitter tone that they don't seem to ally into clans, which is why it always seems so easy for the Hitano to draw them in to one group, because they're in separate little groups. And he explains to you that the bigger worry might be that the Hitanos have been wiped out by these savages that are causing so much issue within the area. Or maybe that the head of the Hitanos, Kaminosuke, has passed on, or something else, but they definitely seem to be pushing and taking advantage. Of the situation of the frozen passes.
Any information on potentially the strength of the savage forces, like military numbers or...
That he could not tell you. No one tracks their population. No one has any idea how many of them are. There's definitely fewer of them than there are of you guys typically.
So basically we have one, I don't want to say clan, but group, that way that may or may not be overrun, that used to have trade dealings with Botan's team, yes?
Yes.
Interesting. And then anything sounding vaguely superstitious would be the other question that Katsuo would ask. And I can RP that out if you want to, but...
No,
He would be wondering.
he would be wondering. Definitely, he would comment that, actually, since the one man in his cups made the comment, Botan would at least fill you in. The Hitanos, at one point, one of their old priestesses, one of the sisters of their old priestess, resided with the Hitanos. And her family, or her, you're not sure what happened. He's not sure what happened to the third sister, but at least the second one was with the Hitanos. And it's why it's especially weird that the strange inclement weather has moved in, which leads him to sort of think that perhaps it's from the
I pressed the
Welcome
wrong
back.
button, sorry.
It's okay. That he thinks perhaps that's one of the reasons there's these almost unworldly bad weather, and the fact that people keep going up there and then getting lost is maybe something has happened to their priestess.
Curious indeed. That would be all that Katsuo really delves into. Again, he is not a man of politics or playing the court games or formalities. He is very much about military and war. So that's all he'd really care about. And he'd go back to quietly content with his meal and his letters.
You would probably not have your letters out here.
Yeah.
No, not there, but later on at night.
Okay.
But yeah, otherwise he just eats. He's a very boring guy. Because he is absolutely terrified of everything.
Just constant low-grade strokes.
Just literally, he has more stress than like a fucking stockbroker during Wall Street during the crash. If he could pop Tylenol for his headaches, he'd be popping like 10 every hour.
Yep.
I feel like he's not actually going to make it very far as the Lord.
With the daimyo. I mean, he might once he learns to chill the hell out.
So you might just make it to like 40, then just suddenly die of massive brain hemorrhaging.
Well, I mean, he's what,
stress.
17 now? 16?
Yeah.
So he's got the good 30 years. He just... Stress kills. Stress kills.
It does!
Don't worry, you get to marry a pretty princess at some point. That'll chill you out.
Yeah.
No, it won't. That'll just make him more anxious.
He'll chill out in his 20s.
But yeah, that is what Katsuo does with his day.
Okay, what about our spirit folk over the dinner? Do they have any further questions? Or Hachizuka?
Hachi was pretty chill, I think. I think he stayed mostly quiet and complimented the food, at least, very politely, trying to stay as statesman as possible. He did do trade with these people. He didn't want them, he didn't wish pure misfortune upon them, just enough to make sure that he was not getting in the way of his lord and also student. I will say, if there was any talk of weaponry or swords, he probably would have perked up and listened intently. But if not, he probably stayed quiet.
It's unfortunately weaponry and swords aren't like a typical dinner party.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like,
pieces.
he was just like, unless like that came up, he was probably pretty quiet because he was very destroyed in the fact that his blade was not piercing his father. And he's like, need a new sword. Need another sword. Need a third sword. Need a fourth sword.
Need 80 swords. No, you just need, a magic family sword at some point.
I mean, next level I'll be able to just make mine a magic sword, but he doesn't know that because,
Yeah.
character things.
So the evening passes in fair calm. Hideaki, is there anything you wanted to ask?
Nope, Hideaki is all good.
He's good over there. Okay.
Chilling.
He is
He's
A-okay.
chilling. So we are taking the forest path, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Alrighty. So, you get up early and you are escorted to the edge of the forest. You follow a fairly comfortable road. Your retinue naturally follows behind you. And then you finally reach the tree line.
Oh dear.
And
It's
that's
large.
when Greenbeard appears.
Wait, what?
Greenbeard.
Treebeard?
Please no forest pirates, please no.
It's a little dim in the early morning, and as I said, some of the tree canopy obviously makes it difficult to see around. But for the most part, it's a cloudy to clearing day, and you have a forest to traverse.
As they enter the forest, Shino seems to just have an air of contentment and excitement about her person, even though she doesn't act any differently.
Katsuo does not act differently because he's totally indecisive. Katsuo is completely indifferent. Also, does anyone else see like giant black lines on the map?
Because there's trees in the
Yeah,
way.
it's from the trees. It's vision.
Okay, so those are trees. I keep
Yep.
wondering if we're like going through like warp speed or something.
Warp speed.
Warp speed. No, it's shadows on the trees. It's just how dynamic lighting works.
I really wish you could make it, less jagged lines, but they won't let you.
Yeah. One day.
Go ludicrous speed.
As
The
you,
matter, Colonel Sanders chicken.
as you move through the forest at ludicrous speed, you can actually already see some of the chunks of little ruins that had been out there. Some of the remains of walls. Vaguely in the distance, you can see a small shrine. I think you can see a little bit of a pond through the trees. Lots of trees. So many trees. Your retinue actually has to split up into a couple of groups because it's very difficult to bring the wagons through here immediately following you in a big line. So they are sort of split up into small groups, but you do have a few of your retinue with you naturally. And of course you have, Katsuo and Hachisuka there to sort of move first as required.
Before they started really into the forest, Hachisuka gave Hideaki the supplies for the shrines. Told him that he got these as a gift from the other fellows.
Does he actually call them the other fellows?
The other fellows.
The other priests.
No, but does he call them the other fellows?
No.
Damn.
No, he wasn't in character.
That'd have been funny.
He wasn't RPing that. Here, I got these from the other fellows.
From those guys,
Those
Them guys.
Those guys,
Deep
the
them
other
boys.
ones. They're like you, but for the other place.
With the other clan and the other people. Moving along.
Right. Hideaki graciously accepts these offerings that will be used at some point in the future at these shrines.
Good.
Actually, I
point.
guess I should hand some of them over to Shino as well. So I'm going to do that.
She takes them gratefully and hides.
So we split it 50-50 down the line. Half of this mochi is mine. Half of it's yours.
Mochi.
They're shrine offerings, Arch. You can't eat them.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's okay. The excitement's understandable. Alrighty, so which way do you guys want to go?
Give us a heading, Captain.
Well, Katsuo, being of the Kageyori lineage, known for their incredible tactical decisions on the battlefield, comes up with a very simple yet elegant plan.
Walking straight forward, aren't you?
Straight through, yes!
You could just tell that's what this was leading up to because of all.
Surprise.
Straight through!
Like as soon as you were like known for their tactical expertise, I was like, he's just gonna say something completely.
Straight line. Alrighty.
A straight line is the fastest way to get to our point. It is tactically brilliant.
Okay, as you continue north, you can see over to your left, there are some interesting ruins of what had once been a small building. You can see a sinkhole over here that drops down. You see a number of other little ruinish parts, what had possibly been the padding of a semi-formal garden, and little artistic plaques. You notice that this one right here actually has a very, very small shrine built into it, and the deity seems to be that of a little tanuki.
Neat. Where the hell's Tynos?
I'm here. Oh, am I not moving?
He got left
We
behind.
just abandoned you.
Someone just sent me the weirdest GIF. I'm going to share it with all of you.
Oh no.
Great
There we
commies
go.
at Giphy.com.
Okay. So do you want to go to the tiny shrine?
I mean, the D&D player in me says yes to go. Well, this is the shrine that Shino and Hideaki were going to visit, yes?
There's a bunch of them, apparently.
But is this one of them?
Yes.
Well, Katsuo would stop the advancement if it is one of their shrines, because he respects their choices. But otherwise, everything else is completely unnecessary, and they would go straight through.
Wow.
I respect your life choices, son. Okay.
That's going in
So
the
yes.
book, that is.
You worship whatever gods you want.
So yes, we will halt the company to go check out this shrine for our monks.
Yes, let's take a minute to place some offerings at the shrine.
Katsuo cares little for the broken down shimmy shammies over in this side and the sinkhole unless they look like they were recently destroyed or made by man. If not, then he does not care.
The destruction is pretty old, and the sinkhole, while recent-ish appearing, is maybe a few months old.
Then he does not care. Also, thank you, Cora, for immortalizing these quotes.
Love how everyone so far is from Arch.
Yep. Alright, so the group goes over to the little shrine.
Yes, to the
Just
shrine.
gonna move you. Okay. As you approach it, and circle around this, I'm sorry, I dropped Shino right on top of a bush. You are a tree now. Well, I mean, you were always a tree. The shrine is for the most part decently kept.
Hideaki just got deleted.
What? Did you delete yourself?
Where'd he go?
Roman?
What the fuck? Roman? He might be lagging, is what happened. Oh, he's huge now.
Hang on.
That face.
I need help.
Control Z is your friend.
Yeah. There we go. Now you're the right size.
I can't see anything on the map.
That's not his token.
What did you do?
He deleted his token somehow.
Oh my.
God. Yep, it's because you totally deleted yourself.
Suddenly, our priest punches the air and disappears into a crack in reality.
He really is the
Okay.
One Punch Man.
Can you see yourself again?
Yeah. So Control Z actually does work here.
Yes.
Okay. So if I delete myself again, just do that.
That might not work, but it should. It's a little weirder about deleting stuff. But... as you... What are you doing?
What is the giant circle?
Okay.
I was testing out free draw.
Okay. As you approach the shrine, it is a small shrine to the Tanuki spirits that reside in the forest.
God damn it, Arch. Stop.
I'm drawing Tanuki.
No, you're not.
Okay, I'll stop. Sorry. Sorry, Kev.
It's in minor disrepair, but, you know, in as good shape as you can imagine. It obviously looks in better shape than everything else around you. But it does have its little offering bowl set out for offerings, and you don't feel anything terribly negative around it. But if you'd like, you can still perform a little cleansing ceremony.
How big is this shrine?
It's, you know, about the size of that little square thing. The side right here is where it has the little kick up and little surrounding house for the small statue of the Tanuki.
Is it larger than a foot?
Yes, it is larger than a foot.
You were gonna try to repair it, huh?
Yeah, it's probably a little bit too big for that.
I figured, but that's what I'd check.
Yeah.
So in that case, I'll begin tidying.
All right then. So I guess we'll place the offering, or one of the offerings.
Tidy up the shrine and make it look pretty.
All right. As you tidy up this lovely little shrine, you discover there's a kind of a bunch of fairly interesting little things around it, lots of little papers, lots of little blessings. Apparently this spirit was pretty well liked before it became sort of a pain to come into the forest itself, and the stories of bandits became a little more widespread. You know that this Tanuki is a servant of your own gods.
Our great kami?
So your great kami and their consort. And you know that, or you realize that probably some of the other shrines in the forest will be to the great kami, as well as some other ones.
Okay then. We finish our business with the shrine, I guess.
Indeed. Back to going straight through.
Okay.
Actually, before we head out, Hideaki would like to take a minute to investigate that sinkhole.
Alrighty.
Katsuo sort of grumbles something to himself, thinking that it is pointless, and that they should continue onward. There is no time for delay.
Investigated the sinkhole.
Decent
Alrighty.
investigate, too.
As you look
I
into the
did say I
sinkhole,
wanted to investigate it.
as you look into the sinkhole, you can see there's some water gathered at the bottom. There's brickwork. It had maybe been a basement to the remains of the structure you're standing in. As you look very closely, though, you notice a few more modern things. There are some torches. There's a lantern. There are some footprint marks of somebody that obviously had walked through there, either using the basement or maybe it connects somewhere else that you're not incredibly sure of. And those are far more recent than the past few months. You also can see from your vantage point a small arrowhead.
Okay, then. Can I take any of this stuff? Am I able to reach it? Or is it...
No, it's down pretty far. You'd have to climb down to it.
You have magic
Okay.
hand. Use your magic hand and grab stuff.
Yeah.
Or if you don't have mage hand, ask the
I
other
actually...
party.
I do have mage hand, but does it have enough range?
Mage hand has a pretty quick range.
I think it's like 60 feet,
Let me see. I just clicked it to bring it into the thing.
30 feet.
30 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could reach it with mage hand.
Oh, okay.
So, do you mage hand grab like the arrowhead and maybe a torch or a lamp?
Yeah.
Okay. So you collect those things, and you have a fairly recent arrowhead that looks like it had been either dropped or lost from a poorly made arrow, and you have a lamp of kind of middling to low craftsmanship.
You have a shitty lamp, is what you're saying here.
Yeah.
Throw me the lamp!
Maybe he's a genius.
Alright then. So I return to the party carrying these things, presenting them to first Lord Hachisuka directly. I believe it would be best if we were on our guard. It seems that we may have company in these woods.
Oh, what makes you think that? What did you find?
Right, so presenting the arrowhead, the torches, and the lamp, Hideaki tells him, it appears that someone had been possibly living in this area recently.
Could I see that lantern?
Of course.
I'm going to investigate that lantern for any signs of a blacksmith's signature or anything that looks familiar to me.
Is Katsuo close to it as well too? I know, or does he not know?
You're standing right there.
I mean, yeah, so he probably sees it too. He can investigate as well.
He also investigates.
It's a garbage old lantern. It's seen a lot of use. It's been dropped a few times. This final drop either it was forgotten behind or maybe left there for the return to something. It's pretty busted. There's still some oil in it though. And it's a lantern, no maker's marks.
What about the arrowhead? That's what Katsuo can investigate.
There also is no maker's mark on that thing. It's just a sharpened bit of bronze with a little connector for fleshings.
You found these in that sinkhole over yonder.
That is correct.
Why? And Katsuo makes his way over to the sinkhole. Why would these be in a sinkhole?
Hachisuka shrugged. Can I investigate the area around the sinkhole to see if I see tracks or anything?
That's what Katsuo was going to do as well too, to see if he could find any other items or possibly footprints.
High five for fellow and student in masterwork.
Yeah.
You see the footprints. You notice that the print markings, Hachisuka, Master Investigator, are from pretty poor quality boots. They climb up and down. There's some measure of a little bit of rope that has been attached and reattached to this tree here. And the footprints are actually from a few different people, so it could be some kind of group going in and out of here. The arrowhead leads you to believe that they are, at the very least, armed. And there's no signs that they've been hunting any sort of like large game or exploring anything.
But they seem to be going in and out of this area specifically.
Yeah. Into there. And heading off this way, like north.
Hachisuka looked over to Katsuo. I had heard rumors of ruins in the area that may or may not hold fortunes or something. We could be looking at treasure hunters.
Admittedly, my mind thought perhaps that maybe there were tunnels beneath the ground that these savages might be using, but perhaps your explanation makes more sense.
Do
It
not
is-
believe the people that talk to the far north have gotten this far.
As,
I believe this is something completely separate.
as they're having this discussion, because I'm assuming we're nearby, because they wouldn't leave us. Shino's going to attempt to sense the earth around them to see if there are any tunnels. So I can do that, because that's cool.
Okay. You sound very far away.
Oh, my microphone got knocked up.
Alright, do you roll anything or are you just sensing?
I'm checking. Do I have to roll?
Okay.
Where is it? Okay. I can do concentration to increase my range, and that's about it. So I'll do that.
Okay.
We're not in combat, so I assume rounds don't count for anything.
Yeah. Well, you're just sensing.
Okay.
Okay.
Where the hell's concentration? I just concentrate. How does concentrating work? Do I just do it, or have to roll something?
I think you just concentrate.
Okay. So I can extend my range by 5 feet per round for a maximum of 5 times my level. What's a level 4? So what's 4 times 5? 20. So 20 yards around us in every direction. Is there any
Okay.
every earth thing?
You feel tunnels going off of this way to the southeast. And you feel them also kind of extending a wee bit to the north.
Okay, I don't get precise locations or anything, just a general idea.
Oh, yeah. You can feel that there's some tunnel areas underneath you, and they kind of head this way.
Okay, that's all I need to know.
Yeah.
She opens her eyes again and addresses Katsuo. Well, You may be correct, my lord. There are quite a few tunnels around us.
Oh, you can sense this.
Indeed, forests and the earth are, shall we say, something I'm gifted at the working of.
Can you sense if these tunnels and ways have been recently made or occupied?
I'll have to do an Arcana check, but yes. Let me do an Arcana check. Where is Arcana? Oh, there. It's only a DC 10, though, so let's see. No, I cannot.
Profound sadness.
I cannot tell, my lord.
You can't really tell if it was recently made, but it.
No, I can't, because the DC on that is 10.
Yeah.
How far? Sorry, go ahead, Cam.
You did your best.
Did my best.
How far did you say these tunnels extend?
That's another detail. Jesus Christ, Arch, stop making me roll for things.
This is Katsuo.
I will try again.
He asks questions that Harvest won't or Bork
I
can't.
cannot tell.
I have a taste in my mouth, Katsuo says. As he looks down, he motions for one of his guards to hand him a torch, freshly lit. And then, if the guard does so, he throws it down into the pit to see how far it drops.
It drops about 25 feet.
Hachisuka,
Well, does anybody have rope?
I think I have rope.
We could
have-
rappel ourselves down into this sinkhole.
That's what Katsuo was thinking, but first he's going to ask Hachisuka,
Yes.
where's the nearest town from here?
The one we just came from.
The next nearest town.
We don't have a map, Arch.
Not to
But I
see
assume
us.
Hachisuka has the map.
There's no details on that.
No, there
You
was
just left the nearest town a minute ago.
Yeah, this is real close.
We're not very far.
Yeah, but I mean the next town.
The next town is exactly, or to Hachisuka's guess, is
It's going to be the village you're trying to get to, which is a good.
it is a decent walk away.
I mean, you're riding horses, but
Horses can walk.
okay, yes, horses can walk.
This is what we shall do. We shall rappel down and investigate this sinkhole further. If we find nothing of pertinent value within the next 2 hours, we shall return to this point and continue onward to the next town.
Is this distraction wise, my lord?
Normally, I would say no. However, I have a bad feeling in the pit of my stomach. And the Kageyori always relies on their instincts.
Very well.
How deep is this, by the way, game?
25 feet.
So falling down would be bad. Don't fail your
No,
actions.
yeah, it's not that bad though. It's after 15 you take damage, so it'd be 10
Yeah, but
be 2d6.
falling more than 20 feet can injure you.
Wouldn't
It's
it be
2d6, yeah.
athletics because it's repelling?
As a status effect, injure you.
I don't think that's a thing in 5e.
Pretty sure it is. Let me check though.
I don't think so.
It would still hurt falling that far.
Yes, I
Have
understand
you?
that.
Yeah. Have you ever dropped out of a window before?
I have. It did not
Yeah.
feel great. I landed it, but yeah.
Now, have you ever
dropped
dropped out of a third-story window?
It was a 2.5 story at my buddy Derek's
Cam, have you
house.
fallen out of a third-story window?
Hmm?
I said, have you fallen out of a third-story window before?
I haven't.
Oh, I thought that's where this was going.
No,
Yeah,
I was going to
You're
say.
like,
done that.
But have
You're
you fallen
paying-
out of a third-story window?
Yeah.
No,
I've fallen out of a lot of trees.
Yeah, which is it's the big trees came to be close to that. We were thankfully doing it on a hill, so we were able to like jump out and do like a roll. It was fun,
Okay, no.
but it was
You,
like,
you don't
stupid.
take injuries, but you do land prone.
Yeah, it's like 2d6 damage after 15 feet. Every 5 feet is a d6. I'm gonna just do it acrobatics because that's what
There's no
Hachisuka
15
would
feet
do.
anymore. It's just every 10 feet you fall.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
you're taking 3d6 damage if you fall. Don't fall.
It's 25 feet. Well, it's whatever damage is. Like 2d6 plus 1d3.
Is it acrobatics or athletics? Because they have a rope.
Athletics, not
Yeah.
acrobatics.
Yeah.
Oh, athletics?
You're climbing down, not making fancy jumps.
I am a master of the rope.
He mastered the rope, alright.
You are so goddamn fit. The rope and Katsuo are one. You float down it like with lemur-like grace.
Katsuo is fucking Cirque du Soleil that shit all the way down.
Pretty sure I just fell. Yeah, under a 10 is a fail. Dang it.
Can I try and grab you while I'm Cirque du Soleil down the
You
rope?
do have a 20.
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Would that be athletics or dexterity?
I'll let you flow off of your beautiful already.
You gotta catch me before I face plant at the floor.
So it's athletics,
Yep.
not acrobatics.
Yeah, yeah.
Athletics.
You
I passed.
you barely passed. Hideaki has a little bit of difficulty coming down this rope. And
Why you gotta make
Just
fun of how I rappel
have
down a rope, man?
you do your best, but you're meant to be in the waters. Hachizuka climbs down the rope kind of stolidly. And Kato, as little Shino begins to tumble down this rope, I mean, she's tiny and not meant for this activity, you reach out an arm and just catch her with ease and carry her down, somehow rappelling down this rope now one-handedly, no
I mean,
problem.
it's like I weigh much.
Yeah.
Lush.
Indeed. Finally, all those years of ballet have come into fruition.
Is that actually part of Katsu's backstory?
Ballet doesn't
No.
exist. For
Yes.
starters.
It's a very different form of dance.
Yeah. Alright, then we rappel down. Katsuo sets down Shino on her feet carefully when they reach the ground bottom floor and reaches for the torch that he threw down and uses it to take a look around.
What do you see?
What do you see? It's a little dark. And you see there's a lamp to the southeast of you going this way. Boop, boop, boop.
Which way?
It's a solid tunnel. Southeast, and let me ping again this way.
I mean, you could
this
just use
way.
the pointing arrow.
Is there
I
another
can
path?
just use the pointing arrow.
Is there another path besides that one?
This way. There is another path, but it doesn't go very far. It looks like it's partially collapsed, and it goes this way.
We will go to the southeast then, because I don't think we want to go through the collapsed way.
Well, aren't there footprints? I thought we were gonna follow the footprints.
I mean, we can't see the footprints. We're underground.
But we
I
have
have
a
a
torch.
Have you ever tried to look for footprints underground with a torch?
It's very hard.
That's
I
a
mean,
roll
you're
for
also it's also flooded in, or like just past
Alright.
these stones here, so like it's hard to follow footprints on the wet part. However, it was obvious that the footprints were like they aren't heading north because north the tunnel is partially collapsed.
There's only one way to go.
to the southeast.
All right then.
Alrighty. You guys continue along your southeasterly path. Keep going. Boop, boop, boop. Stomp through those trees, Katsuo. It's what you've always dreamed of doing.
Straight through.
Tight.
Yep. For once in your life, a straight line works for you.
Yay!
And Thanos is dead.
Hi, Nose.
Hynos has been slain.
There. I just dragged him here. Hideaki steps on him once or twice.
I got confused because I moved myself once and I lost everybody.
As you appear here, you can look up, and there seems to be you can smell a fire because you can't really see what's on the surface right now. God damn it!
Giant Hideaki.
Giant head awakening from the dawn.
Sorry.
Fine.
I can tell that you're angry. I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not mad. It's still amazing than anything, and I went looking forward to remove it for you. And you can tell that there is a climb-up spot here. There's actually a conveniently placed rope that hangs from that tree.
So we gotta try and climb up.
All right, I guess we climb out. Yeah.
So, can we smell the fire?
Yeah, I can hear and smell the fire.
Roll your investigation.
Yeah, Katsuo's gonna listen to see if he can hear voices. Would that be investigation or perception?
Yeah, I'd say perception.
11.
You can hear very, very quiet snoring, actually. Hideaki, you can see some quiet. You can hear some quiet talking even back in the tunnel, and you can definitely hear some snoring.
Whoever is up there, there's definitely at least two people that are awake.
Hmm.
We hear nothing.
I heard a rock fall.
A pebble hit the ground behind you. It might have been a little splash of Shino stepping up from the water onto the stone ground
How
here.
tall is this water?
Huh?
And what the hell's up with my character?
Oh, how tall is the step up, and how deep is the water? The water is about 4.5 to 5 inches deep, and the step is going to be a foot, so you're gonna have to climb.
Jesus. I will attempt to climb, I guess.
It's only a foot. You can probably do it. By
You go
just, like,
first in
pulling
case someone
yourself
needs to
over.
catch you.
No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about getting up to the platform because I'm tiny and apparently.
Oh, right.
Challenge. What we're getting from this is one of you just needs to carry me around at all times.
In a papoose.
Hop on. What?
In a papoose.
What the hell's a papoose?
The Indian thing, the papoose.
That's called a papoose?
We've learned.
Yes, it's a papoose.
I think that's one of my
Yes.
favorites. That's a new favorite word of mine now.
Papoose?
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Arch.
No problem. Here it is.
So yeah, let's bust out that papoose and get Shino in there.
Or, one of you can just help me out of the water so I don't have to fail at rolling.
No need for that. Hachisuka,
Young
get
Lord
the
said
papoose.
native-languages.org.
No.
Like someone photocopy Hideaki's and Shino's faces onto those two respectively.
Oh my god.
Anyway, am I going to have to climb this step by myself?
We will. I'll
Apparently you're
assist
being
you.
bundled into a papoose.
No. All right. I'll help you up.
Hooray! I've now lifted up, I guess.
We should find a crafter to make a papoose, though.
Jesus Christ. Are we going up the rope or not? We need to decide.
We are going to climb up, yes, because, well, first Katsuo is going to go first, and he's going to wave his hand to keep the others down below, just in case things get ugly.
Wait, shouldn't
And he's gonna try and
be going first?
Yeah,
No.
his thing is stealth, isn't it?
Yeah, he's
Yeah, I'm
sneakier than you,
stealthy.
and we don't want you to die alone. Or at all.
But can he climb and be stealthy?
We'll have to see.
That's a good question. So no, he can't.
Can't climb
I've
over
rolled-
gravity.
I have not rolled above. Besides that one roll on investigation, I have not rolled above a 5.
You rolled a 12 on
Today.
just earlier.
Oh my god!
You begin climbing, and maybe 5 feet up,
Probably fall, apparently.
you suddenly fall back onto your back and make a lot of noise.
Well, not even feel like that much.
Okay, you don't make a lot of noise, but you make a good thump sound as you fall back.
Kazuo quickly grabs his master and drags him and ushers for everyone else to get back inside the tunnel, just in case people start coming.
Joy.
Hachizuka gets dragged into the water and just gurgles a little bit.
From the water, while he's underneath, he can see Katsuo's wavy face from the surface above, glaring at him in disappointment.
Jump down back into the water and get all wet.
Away. It was a good thing you hid, though, because a figure does approach the edge, and they do. Oh crap! That's gonna be really quick. They look over the edge to see what that noise was. However, not immediately seeing anything or noticing any tracks. They assume it is, nothing, and they walk back just above. Yeah, come here. Yeah.
Well, that's one way to answer that question.
They go back to their campsite.
There we go.
Okay then. Hideaki, I'm sorry, that's me.
Yes, what do you do?
Now I'm getting tired. All right, Hachizuka, dare you attempt to stealth your way into that camp a second time?
I suppose he does, and if he fails this time,
You're
he'll
the
have to
best
commit
one for this
seppuku.
job.
You literally have all the points in stealth.
For better or worse, you're our best stealth character.
Just weird, considering he's not a ninja at all.
Technically get advantage to stealth rolls here, so.
I mean, I could try it too.
I mean, I could try as well, but...
You are not stealthy.
I'm decently stealthy.
No, not
I
you.
have 2.
I am fucking stealthy.
I will
The stealth
tell
head!
you if I'm stealthy.
Now it's just a matter of whether I can
Somebody here
climb
have-
up this.
No.
I'm decently
Yes,
stealthy.
we're doing
but
it,
I don't
apparently.
wanna climb.
Wait. You have advantage?
Yeah, isn't there a thing that you can give advantage to people?
I don't have advantage.
Now it's
Wait,
just a
yeah.
matter of whether or not I can pull myself up
Hideaki,
the rope.
use your bless thing on me.
Oh, you. Okay, fine.
No,
I
you can
just-
bless on yourself.
You can not fail.
You
Yeah,
can bless
just
on
to make
yourself.
sure. And that way
I'm
I
not
can
sure that's
sneak
how that
and
works.
Climb. I can sneak and climb well
Unless
then.
he rolls a 1 with your D4, he pretty much can't fail.
Let me take a look at. Let's look at the description here.
Yeah, it works on. Oh wait, does it not work on?
It doesn't work on skills. It only works on attack rolls or saving throws. So yeah,
Alright.
I'm not gonna be using that.
Oh, I'm stealthy.
Okay, can you climb though?
Let me see.
And Hideaki climb.
We were just being stealthy.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
real question: is can
Yeah,
I
no, I got
fucking
it.
climb?
We were just being stealthy.
Oh, I'm the fucking greatest right now. Holy shit!
Yeah, I
Hell
can
yeah.
do it perfectly.
Here we go. I'm gonna climb.
So,
Don't climb. I believe in you, little Shino.
all right. So can I get
Oh
behind
my
this
God.
tree then?
Shino, having observed how climbing functions, just masters the hell out of this and
Cut.
scales the rope, sort of like a sugar baby.
We're
I guess
all
I should have
here and
console.
quiet and.
Well, Katsuo hasn't. Katsuo's still down
Katsuo
below.
that's what
to
we're-
reveal us.
Well, because Katsuo was expecting just to send one person, not the whole team.
Just went.
So it's like, okay,
Oh my god.
Katsuo is not stealth.
He runs into a wall and makes loud banging noises apparently.
Someone should have
come
put
on.
Katsuo in a papoose and carried
Let's see
him
how
up.
well he climbs.
How well do you climb?
Come on.
Well,
24.
you just climb loudly.
You- You clamber up this rope, making a shit ton of noise, and don't bother to hide behind anything. Instead, you stand in your glorious Katsuo glory and stare down the 2 bandits you can see.
Can we just say that we're hidden? Are we hidden?
Yeah,
behind this
everybody
tree?
else is hidden, except for
It's
Katsuo.
just Katsuo.
What is
Yeah. What is stealth? He has no need. He has only straight lines.
He basically all-minded himself. I am here.
Fear not! I am here!
And brightly clinks his armor back into place as the lacquered plates sort of clack against one another, and he glares down these two opponents and probably says something like, "Who are you?
Yeah.
What's your purpose here?"
Pretty much exactly that. Who are you?
Surrender
And
now,
what is your
villains.
purpose? I mean, he doesn't know if they're bandits or adventurers or savages.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should at least take a minute to see if they're immediately gonna react hostile, but Cam did say they were bandits.
We don't know that though.
We don't. As characters.
Yes.
They stare at you in confusion, and the one that's there kicks the tent flaps behind him, and you hear the jolted snoring as the third wakes up and stumbles out. They all look at you a moment, and then this guy draws a bow and says, "What are you doing here?"
I asked you first.
But you also emerged from a hole in the earth, so...
Yeah.
Details. Well, you were suspecting something from more Katsuo. No, that was IC. You just asked. I asked you first.
I asked you first. Okay. They just say, "This is our camp." And as they look you over, this guy, you can hear him mutter about how, "Katsuo, you look like a random rich guy." And the other two start sort of looking you up and down appraisingly.
I am Kageyori no Katsuo.
He proudly proclaims.
Yep.
Introduce yourselves. And that's how Katsuo became friends with bandits.
Yep.
Pretty much he goes.
Yeah, that'd be great if that's how this turned out. Like, they just... They
I
were
mean,
totally
do you want to roll to charm some people?
Yeah, try to convince
Sure,
them that you're on their side.
The ultimate charm. I'll do it. Alrighty.
You're the only one that they know is there for sure, so...
Well, I mean, I can roll persuasion
Or
or
deception.
I guess
Mhm.
deception.
Deception.
Doesn't matter because they're both the same thing for me because Katsuo has no charisma.
Try
But simply, he would say, "I am Kageyori no Katsuo, heir to the Kageyori dynasty, and I ask you what your purpose is here next to this sinkhole tunnel."
They stare at you, and look sort of obviously amused. What are you trying to charm them with about that statement? Like that they shouldn't attack you, I guess, or
He just wants to know what they're doing next to the sinkhole.
oh, so he wants the honest, actual frickin' answer.
Yeah, he wants
Pretty much,
to
yeah.
persuade them. Tell him why they're
But
there.
Katsuo doesn't charm people like, "Hey, how you doing?" This is his way of charming
Well,
people.
persuasion
Okay,
is about getting information out of people that they wouldn't normally give you.
it is.
Convincing them
Uh,
that this is not true.
Yeah. Okay. They stare at you, and this guy goes "I'm Saburo, and this is our camp, and we rob rich idiots like you."
So you are bandits.
And the other two laugh at your apparently slow uptake of this.
Alright, All Might, you ready to do this?
Yep.
Can those of us who stealth take preemptive action should things
Yes.
begin to go south, which they're about to, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
They're drawing their weapons, I'm guessing.
Mostly they're just still kind of laughing at Katsuo. This guy still has his bow out.
And Katsuo, before any fighting
Yaki
started,
was more of an asshole at this point. He'd jump out and then cast a spell and say something like, "The only one getting robbed here today is you of your lives." And
I mean, if
something
we're
like
gonna
that.
do that, I'm down. I'm not actually gonna hit
Yeah.
anybody if I cast a spell now.
you guys can do what you want, but Katsuo is just asking questions. So she asked, have you seen savages from the north in these parts?
They stare at you a moment and then look amongst one another and then just sort of shake their heads and say, "No, this is far too south." What? No. No.
I see. Very well then. You have been helpful in this matter. Now you may die.
Just straight out with it there.
Now you
Yes.
may die.
And Katsuo pulls out his sword because, I mean, they said they're bandits, so the penalty for that is death.
And that's true. Banditry is a crime.
I would have cast Wrathful Smite on my sword, and I'll wait in the shadows, and then I'll pull out at the end of initiative order for a advantage roll for a Chaos Bolt.
In that case, before combat begins, I'm going to cast a spell directly into this crowd of people. And not
Okay.
anybody else for once.
Yes. She knows our artillery. She
Yeah,
has
go
to blast
for
us
it.
far first.
Nice.
So DC 13, and then what's 8 plus 7? 14?
15.
15. And 15 damage if they
15.
fail, and they also get knocked back 10 feet. And the tree in front of me also falls over.
Neat. What's the DC 13? What stat?
You need to con. It says that. Ooh, that guy's successful. That guy's not. And that guy definitely
That guy definitely is not.
Wow. Alrighty. Only the guy holding the bow manages to stay up, I guess.
An explosion of earth-shattering force flies out from behind the tree, with the tree falling directly forward, I guess.
Nice. Yeah, it lands and this guy hops out of the way.
10 feet from their
Yeah.
position, not mine.
Hmm?
It's 10 feet from their position, not mine, by the way.
Oh no, I was just sort of testing. This would come from you.
Yep. It's a cone, I believe. Let me check. It's always good to check these things.
Yeah.
15-foot cube originating from me, so I'm gonna change the shape.
So it would actually hit all of your party members.
I'm gonna change the shape of that. I can change the shape of that one into a cone.
Okay.
Which cost me some elemental points. But that's
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to roll dexterity for the two that didn't Constitution save to see if the tree hits them.
It'd be awesome if it did.
Well, it doesn't hit the one guy. Oh, it does hit the one guy. Okay.
Did I just kill a man with a tree?
You just killed a man with a tree. The tree falls and crushes this guy beneath it with an unpleasant, unsettling, splorchy crunch as he is splatted to the ground beneath the trunk and dies. His two friends look on in horror. How much damage did the one guy take?
The one that failed took 15 damage. The one who succeeded took 7.5.
Okay. Jeez, that's crazy. Okay, you have killed a man with a tree. Everybody roll initiative.
Remember to select your
Target
token.
myself.
Oh, but wait, I didn't get to take an attack of
Oh yeah,
initiative.
I'm sorry. What is Hideaki going to do? How is he going to kill these guys? preemptively?
Am I allowed to move and then attack as part of my initiative, or am I only allowed
Yes.
to cast this? Okay, I
Yeah,
can.
5 feet.
Just 5 feet?
Yep.
Okay. Can I see the guy that moved out of the way that's behind the tent directly ahead of me?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to... Which one of my spells could I use for this? I'll try to hit him with Ray of Frost.
Is that your only attack spell?
No, I've got some other ones, but that's one of my go-to cantrips for attacking. I was going to run up to him and smack him in the head with my staff, but he's more than 5 feet away. Alas. Did it hit?
Yep, that's a hit.
Okay. So he takes 5 cold damage and penalty until... Well, I guess his next turn would be when he actually moves.
I mean, he's ranged, so he probably won't move.
Yeah.
Okay.
To try and get away so he stay at range, so it helps.
Hachisuka needs to do his thing if he's gonna do a thing.
I'm last up in the order. I'll have to go next turn because I cast a spell on myself and I'm going to stay hidden.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now everybody's going to roll initiative.
Yep.
I am 19.
Nice job. Where is
I forgot to select my token. I'm sorry.
You're the worst.
Damn it, Titus.
I'm the last.
It's okay. Alright, Katsuo, it is your turn.
Well, Katsuo, seeing that these are bandits devoid of all honor and moral decency, are not really human. Therefore, he has no qualms with walking over to the one who has been knocked down. Was
knocked
it?
Back.
Knock back.
Back? So how far are they knocked
10
back? That guy is right.
I should have actually moved him to about there. There you go.
Well, then in that case, he's going to jump across the fallen tree and move over to the man hit by the ray of frost to get at him directly, since he is a ranger and he doesn't want to be hampered by arrows.
To jump over a tree and then still do an attack?
I mean...
How thick is this tree?
It's pretty big.
I mean, it's not that... it's sort of big, but it's not super big. It's just big enough to crush a person.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
It's not like... It's maybe 2 feet in diameter... in, like... It's maybe, like... 3.5 feet in diameter, so...
Oh, it's not that big.
Yeah, it's not super huge. You can, like, set 1 foot up on it, step on it, and then step down.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured if it was like a
Like-
giant tree, you might have to try and jump over it.
No, like, Shino would have to actually, like, pause and climb
Being
over the
small
tree.
creature sucks.
Yeah, being the tiniest person humanly possible.
So, Katsuo swings his sword at this person.
I thought they were less than human.
True. This subhuman, Katsuo pulls out Yoru no Uta and hacks at him with a passion.
Alright, you hack at him with a passion.
You're quite passionate, apparently.
Do I hit him with my passion?
You hit him with... you hit him with your passion.
Well, that's
Like
another
a
one.
magical girl.
I hit him for
Yeah, beat me to it,
no,
easy.
damn it. There we go, 8.
Great Kami said, do I hit him with my passion? Arch.
There we go. I do 8 damage on my swing.
Good job.
And then I guess that. Oh, also, as a free action at the end of my turn, I take a parry maneuver, which gives me +1 to my armor class next turn when I'm being attacked.
Alrighty,
That's
he's in
intelligent.
he's in pretty rough shape.
These poor bandits don't know what hit them.
They don't.
You want to make a comment to him, Arch, about how he said we rob rich idiots like you?
Nope. He already made all the comments that these, like, diseased abominations deserve.
Wow.
They are pawn scum. And you do not talk down to pawn scum any more than you have to.
Alrighty, damn. This guy over in the corner picks himself up, very poorly, but, he manages to sort of stumble up, and, how far away is he?
He's in range.
Oh yeah, he's in range. He is going to pick up, a little crossbow, and he is going to fire it at Hideaki, because the priests look the squishiest.
Well, the joke is on him.
Oh,
Surprise.
the joke is on him that he hits.
I'm not that squishy, though.
No, he has a lot of health.
It's true.
Alright, so 8 damage to me.
That would be a different
Yep.
story.
So that puts me at 23.
Yep. And
Now Hideaki's pissed.
and he's going to just take one step back, and that's about it. Alright, now it's Hideaki's turn.
Cool.
Also,
You know, I think I was gonna try to help Hachizuka with his bandit, but now that this guy shot me, I kind of want to get back at him. So let me just
Kazuo.
recheck the. That's who I meant. Sorry, the names. It's too much for me.
Also, quick question. When I do my attacks, when I get counterattacked and stuff, do those count as attacks of opportunity back or just reaction attacks?
Reaction.
Yeah, the reactions.
Okay, cool. Otherwise, this would be broken.
I didn't write down the description for my poison or Cobra's breath spell.
Great Kami said, did I
Just
kill a man
second
with a
while I double
tree?
check what that does.
Core.
What are you checking?
The description for Cobra's breath. It's one of the spells that I have.
Didn't put it in your spell cards?
I wrote it down. I didn't put the description down in there though. So just a second. Also, I have to take a second to deal with my cat. She's being noisy for some reason.
Meow.
Yeah.
Someone needs to tell Ninners that Core killed a man with a tree.
I think Nurse watches these when I upload them, so.
Oh, glorious. I'm gonna tell Ninners anyway.
You do that.
Actually, no, I'm gonna leave it to be a surprise. That seems way better.
Alright, sorry about that, I'm back. I can't figure out
Welcome
what's wrong with her.
She's a cat.
Aw, does she sound like she's hurt,
There's no
or-
reason for her to
No,
scream.
she just meows at me. Yep.
You sounded like Skeletor, not a cat.
It's Skelecat.
So it's just a cat with a skull for a face.
So what are you gonna do?
I think he's still looking up the spell description.
Okay.
No, I've got it, and I copied it over here now.
Okay. So what you doing?
So I'm gonna move into position. Let me see.
You're assuming the position?
Yeah, I'm gonna move here, and then I'm gonna cast Cobra's Breath against that guy. So you'll have to make a Constitution saving throw against it.
You can add all that into your spell, by the way, I think.
Oh my god. Arch is already calling them subhuman, and now you're spitting at them.
Literal acid, though.
I know, still.
They are filthy bandits.
Also, apparently he has a lot of spit, because he can fill a 15-foot cone with it.
The excrement from my horse is of more use than these beings.
Jeez.
So, there's the dirt, the worms in the dirt, and Popo's stool.
And then them.
So yeah, he's got to make a Constitution saving throw to avoid that.
Okay, and you're hitting the guy that just shot you.
Yeah,
Okay.
hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yes. All right, so let's see how much it does. 8 poison damage.
Neat. You successfully burn him with acid, and he is not looking so grand. The other guy that had been teasing Arch, and Arch has cut a chunk into, sort of decides to change thought process tactics just a wee bit. And he is going to take a pot shot at Shino.
Of course he is.
If he tries to do a ranged attack while I'm in melee, doesn't that give me an attack of opportunity?
No.
It's only moving in and out of melee range.
Even if he's doing a ranged attack? Or is that only Pathfinder?
That's
Where if you do a ranged
Pathfinder.
attack
That's
melee...
that's Pathfinder.
Do you hit
Okay.
me? Let me check. You do, just. Alas.
Gosh.
Have no armor. How much? 4. That's not too bad.
We're gonna put you in a metal papoose.
Little metal papoose, and now Sachisuka's turn.
Is there anyone in these tents that I can hear waking up?
No.
Cool. There's 3 tents, 3 units. Heard. I'll pop out and do a ranged attack on the guy far away that got Artie's been hit a few times by Hideaki.
Okay.
I need to write it down and make a binding for it. 2, 6. I hit.
What are you hitting it with?
I'm so proud.
Oh. Yeah, you should really make an aggro for that. Or a spell.
I should.
But yeah. Okay. Jesus. Okay. You hit him with Chaos Bolt?
Yeah.
You eradicate him from the face of this earth and probably burn some of the ground around him.
With Eldritch energies.
The Eldritch energies.
It
You
was
also
psychic damage.
So you just made his head explode. Nice job.
Okay, yeah, you explode his brain, you make Hideaki's robes a mess, and totally filth up this tree. However, it's probably good fertilizer.
That is impossible. As we went over, horse excrement is better fertilizer than these bandits.
Horse excrement is excellent fertilizer. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's actually wonderful fertilizer.
That's what I'm saying. Horse excrement is better fertilizer than these bandits.
Horse manure is probably one of the best fertilizers.
Exactly.
Anyway,
it's little Sheena's turn.
what am I?
Do not hit me.
I won't.
In fact, Kageori, as a free action, turns, looks at her, and says, "Do not hit me."
Alright, I think I can do a thing. There is my spell list. There it is. I am, once again, going to send a line of force directly at this guy. Because I forget we can
Nice.
change spells now, so I can avoid Katsuo by turning it into a line instead of a cone or a square.
Also, I just realized I forgot to turn on fight music.
Fight music. Alright, and I will do the thing. This is a straight line at this guy and also his tent.
Wow. Okay. You're gonna... Aren't you going to hit Katsuo?
I changed it into a line first.
Okay.
So it's a straight line for 60 feet instead of 30 feet cone.
Okay. So you destroy his thing, and it's the con save again. Wow, he fails the hell out of that.
Crit fail,
Oh, no.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, he's dead.
He just gets blasted off into the horizon.
Shino sends him blasting off like Team Rocket. And he disappears beyond the trees out of sight until you hear another dull, sort of unpleasant crunch as his body finally hits the ground. And congrats, you defeated my bandit puzzle.
That was a puzzle?
It was a puzzle until you went, I am here.
Fear not, I am here. And then they all died.
And then they all died.
Well, that's one way to solve a puzzle.
It was the exact opposite. They had every reason to fear because they ended up dead.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So you are now in this sort of aggressively wrecked bandit camp. Hideaki is a wee bit viscera coated. And
the only one that
Sheena's-
was injured, apparently.
No, Sheena-
No, wait,
Sheena
yeah,
was
Sheena
injured.
got hit too.
I got shot, didn't I? With an arrow.
Yeah.
We both
Yeah.
got shot.
Well, Katsuo sheaths his blade, looks to Hachisuka, tend to the wounds of the hurt. And then we will check this camp for any
We're
materials of
very right,
interest.
but hey,
I know, but still, that's what
Have
he
a
does.
potion. Have a potion.
have a potion.
He's basically a giant Gatorade dispenser, so Katsuo's will take advantage of that.
Himself.
Here you guys go. This is for
There, I have a
Shino.
potion. You don't need to give me one. I still have the
Well,
one.
you're about to use yours.
I still have the one you gave me last time, and it's a preset 9.
There's. Oh, well,
I
there you
I
go.
recorded how much HP it would restore when you gave it to me.
Here you go, Hideaki. Yeah, consistency.
And look at the new hole in my robes and mend it, because gotta look pretty.
Katsuo looks around the camp. It's not looting, it's reappropriating of
one-tenth.
goods.
I have
It's logistics.
Tent by Hachisuka and Hideaki is the only one still there or not crushed by a tree.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Just the one tent. Okay, roll investigation.
Investigate the tent.
It is a tent.
It's a strange device that looks like it could be a shelter. It's made out of fabric. Hideaki, as you are at the very least physically closer to this tent, god damn it, Hachisuka, you find a shitty bandit's tent. Inside are some spare arrows, some spare bolts,
And apparently
some...
knows the key to the city.
Yeah, some
You get advantage on
some
investigation?
scummy clothing.
No, that was
You
a
find
visceral but
Oh.
yeah. You find a sack of money. That's approximately, let's say, through assorted coins and stuff, you have 100 monies.
Chop change for us.
yeah.
A wee bit, but you know, a lot for a bandit. You find
Really looking for a map.
there's no map,
Damn.
unfortunately. These guys probably couldn't even read.
So, they don't know how to read.
If they were war veterans, they might have. War veterans, they had nothing else to
Only
do.
Noble Minotaur how to read.
You find some salted fish. You find a few a small packet of miso paste. And you find a bag of walnuts.
Walnuts.
Hot diggity dog, guys! We've hit the jackpot.
Walnuts.
Walnuts.
Also, where are all of our shoulders? All of our shoulders. Where are all of our shoulders? I don't know where our shoulders are.
Along
They're
with our heads,
attached-
knees, and toes.
That's not where your shoulders are, Arch.
Soldiers?
Yes. We just leave them behind.
We did.
We're bad.
Our
at that.
told them
Yeah.
to wait there for 2 hours. They made an encampment around that sinkhole because our
Yep.
Karto assumed that it would be 2 hours in there. Instead, it took about 10 minutes.
And you killed
Problem
3 people.
Can Katsu even see the rest of their troop from over here?
No.
Through the trees?
Not terribly well, no.
Well, Katsu goes, well, this was a glorious waste of time. I should have followed my original instincts better. Let us continue back to the army and make haste for the next town.
Let's not go back through the tunnel, shall we?
Agreed. We shall go through the woods. Straight through.
Hooray, the woods. We're going straight then? Just straight ahead?
Straight.
Tree in the way.
Straight lines. There's a tree in your way.
There's
You
several
can
trees in the way.
you can
He
squeeze
lives-
between trees.
Straight through.
You get some.
I can
You
demolish
get
the
some-
trees if you want.
Hachisuka puts out the fire just to make sure, forest fires.
Only you can prevent them, Hachisuka.
How did that
Sure.
fire stay intact during the fight?
I
And
don't think the fire's still lit, but hey.
it might. We stomped it out the last cinders.
Kuma-san says thank you.
Cool.
Yep.
Oop, 1 second, my food is here.
Get
Be right
easy,
back.
son.
Be right back.
All right.
So you return.
No?
Yeah, you return to your retinue, your shoulders, as it were, and your horses. A little befouled. They look at you kind of with concern, but everything's okay. Let's catch Hachisuka up to the group. There we
Well,
go.
he was a little behind.
He was preventing forest fires.
Yep,
Oh.
it was good.
Also, you turned your combat music on right when we murdered everybody.
I looked up Andy looked up the word for grizzly bear. What is it again, Andy?
Hairoguma.
There you go.
So we just have Andy just chime in with all the Japanese words.
I mean, he can.
Because that sounded like, something an announcer would say.
I mean, if you want to add them so that every time I'm like, Andy, what the hell is this word?
It's probably not a bad plan, honestly.
Yep.
You can just invite people, but I don't have Andy as my friend because he doesn't want to be my friend.
Well, you don't play any games with him, so.
Is he getting Monster Hunter?
He is. Yeah, we're all getting Monster Hunter.
Sweet.
We're all two of us. He's probably gonna play more on PC, but we are snagging it on PS4.
Okay, because it doesn't come out on PC for like 9 months.
I know, but yeah, we're gonna have it on PS4.
I got it too. So does Taka. We're trying to go do good stuff, hopefully.
Anka's getting it too.
Sweet. That's people I know that have it, because I don't think anybody else besides me and Taka is getting it immediately.
That is a bummer. Yeah, it's just Ank. Ank and me, and my Monster Hunter obsession.
I can't wait. It's been good. I played the beta.
I'm so excited for it.
I do not have a PS4, otherwise I would join as well.
It's okay. You can drive up and hang out with me and play mine.
Fair.
As Archie gets his food.
Archie.
I could buy a cheap one, but not the same.
I mean,
It's-
they're not cheap, so.
Cheap.
Oh, PS4s are super cheap in Raleigh.
What? How much are they?
Like $150.
Why the hell are you-
What?
Jesus.
Yeah, where the fuck are you getting these things? Because I haven't seen them for less than.
Craigslist.
Yeah, that's Craigslist.
Oh yeah.
But Craigslist is fine for that.
No, it could not work.
Oh, no. We, Craigslist is huge in the Raleigh area. Like, all of our police stations has, like, plugs and stuff, like, right on the outside and stuff, and they, like, have cameras and everything. Like, Craigslist is a serious business in the Raleigh area.
That's different.
You say that, and then you get a broken PS4 full of porn.
Can you even put porn on a PS4?
Yes, you can.
How?
Were you not aware of this?
It plays MP4s and MKVs and stuff.
I mean, I use my PS4 to do one thing. You know, the thing I bought it for. To play video
What?
games.
Oh.
I, like, had to move all the junk stuff that I would never use into a folder so it was out of the way. I wonder, is Monster Hunter PS Pro compatible? Or what?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah. See, here's one for 180 that I just found in a second here.
Buy it right now.
I don't have that instantly. I haven't been working that much lately.
Oh, okay.
I've been working on resume and cover letters because I want a real job. I'm kind of tired of
Of
serving.
I get that. Having a real job is very nice.
Yeah, it's just the steady like income that I miss. I think.
Being financially solvent is always nice.
Yeah.
Arch has a real job now too.
Woo!
Yeah, we're all starting to get there. I just need to finding a decent. I'm not that good at resume writing, and so I've decided I can do my cover letters fine. It's just finding a place that's not $400 to get like a professional resume done is. Because a lot of the bigger companies and even smaller companies have people that hire out of them, and they use a specific wording to hire people in their resumes, which is really annoying.
Of course. They do.
Yep.
Welcome back.
But a lot of those resume builders places actually use the same software and write resumes for that, which is
I mean,
ridiculous.
Of course, the reason they do it is literally to support the resume writing industry.
Yep. So it's just like.
They're basically charging you money to not get a job.
Yeah, pretty much. So. Yeah. So I'm working on that right now.
Okay. Anyway, what are we?
Back to
What are we
D&Ds.
doing? Where's their soldiers?
We're moving on.
Moving on with the army from that terrible distraction that Katsuo feels bad about now because it did not prove fruitful.
I'm gonna clear out some bandits.
I mean, you got some walnuts.
You said army. And
We got some
to their
walnuts.
shoulders. It's a bad pun. It's okay.
To our shoulders.
Do tanukis like walnuts?
Yeah.
Gonna go offer the walnuts to the shrine.
Perhaps
We
not
already
at the
got
shrine that
nuts
we already
plenty.
made an offering at, but we could put it down at other ones.
True.
I don't think all the shrines are for the tanuki. They're all for different things. I think. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Either way, you never know. We might come across another Tanuki shrine.
Possibly.
People have two balls, so maybe
Goddamn,
that's
there are
what two
my
shrines.
God.
going there.
You knew.
Do you wanna make an offering of D's nuts jokes, but just to get it out of your system?
No. I'll save it for later.
Oh my god. Thanks, Archie. Well,
Well, we're heading this way.
Yep, straight through.
Straight ahead. We can't go straight ahead. There's a swamp in the way.
it was a pond. All right, and as you approach here, you see a cool plinth, and there's a pond.
Pond.
Very nice pond. And everybody has just let Shino stroll forth by herself.
Just wandering through the forest, still happy. Looking for more people to absolutely murder.
With trees.
Nature. Respected.
Any more bandits around here? Just wondering. So what's with this this thing that I'm standing in front of?
I wanna grab
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I have to send a text message real quick.
You're
I
fine.
had to step away. All right, onwards.
Okay, so this lovely plinth that Katsuo is ignoring actually looks of everything you've passed really very well maintained. It's beautifully constructed. There seems to be a small offering of dried fish and a bottle of sake in a little cup. You can't quite immediately tell what the shrine is for, or what the plinth is honoring, but there is definitely a little offering here. And tucked beneath the fish are some pickled cucumbers.
And immediately I get hungry.
This shrine seems to be maintained at least somewhat.
It's perfectly maintained, more or less. I think. What the fuck Yan said.
Yep.
I'm assuming that it's to an important.
Well, what do you think, Sister Shino? Should we leave an offering here as well?
Perhaps, but perhaps not. An offering seems to have been made today, and leaving multiples tends to attract vermin.
I defer to you. Onwards we go then, once you've decided.
Katsuo was like, "Forward march."
Yep, he's a man on a mission.
Yeah, he's had it with all of this. He's like, we just killed 3 bandits. Can we just go forward now?
Yep. Alrighty. Continue
We
your
solved the bandit
stomp
puzzle.
north. You solved the bandit puzzle.
Turns out the solution was death.
Alright, Katsuo and Hachisuka actually, when you reach about... Nope, get back here.
Can't move.
When you reach about there, roll me perception and a dex saving throw.
I see
Perception 11, Dex save 16.
Okay.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Okay. Katsu, you are marching the fuck through. You notice some slight ripples, but you don't care. You are a man on a mission. Hachisuka, you get about here and you slip into the pond a little ways, and find that there is something with a vise-like grip on your leg.
Oh boy. I'm being straight Luke Skywalker in the fucking pit.
Oh god.
You are, and it is dragging you down with relative ease.
Should I do another save here since I've already fallen and now I'm being dragged?
Yeah, you critically failed. You failed like a punk.
What's that?
Come on.
It's a turtle.
We see him get pulled in.
Yes. Shino and Hideaki, you can see him get pulled in.
Hideaki can see
But Katsuo missed all this?
marching ahead with single
Single-minded mode. Can I roll to see if I hear the splashing behind him?
I mean, you already rolled perception, and you are on a mission. You assume that it is probably Hachisuka kicking something into the pond.
Straight through.
Straight through.
Alright, well. Hideaki cries out, Master Hachisuka! And attempts to grab him away from whatever's pulling him under.
Okay. Roll me a DC 13 strength.
Okay. Got it.
Oh, nice! You are very strong. You grab Hachisuka and start dragging him free of the water.
Come with me this way.
Come with me if you want to live.
As you go, you pull a strange little spirit onto the land with you that is still clinging to Hachisuka's leg.
It looks like a
and
kappa.
sputtering protestations of this occurrence as it stumbles onto the land, and it actually throws a cucumber at you.
Just at
Yes, it throws a cucumber at Hideaki,
Okay.
and squeals that you are taking my dinner.
Does Katsuo hear better? Is he already, gone?
That's up to you.
Yeah, that's up to you. How single-minded was your marching? Did you look back when Hideaki shouted for Hachisuka?
Probably then, yeah. Probably look around and be like, what the fuck is going on over here?
As the Capper services, Shino looks at it and attempts to persuade it to replace its dinner with some of the offerings they have. Perhaps
Did your mic get knocked up again there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did. Did you hear any of that?
I
Yeah.
heard persuading to attempt to replace dinner with some offerings.
Yeah, that was the basic gist.
Okay,
I will attempt to persuade, I guess.
Godspeed. It smacks the offerings away, shoving you away, and says, "I don't need any of that!"
I fail with a
And, yep.
Wow.
And it starts tugging on Hachisuka's leg, and trying
Hideaki tosses the
to
cucumber
drag
back
him
at the
back
captain.
in. Okay. You toss the cucumber back. It catches with one hand, but is still trying to draw Hachisuka down. Does anybody want to roll? to
I'm
figure out
gonna-
what the hell this thing is?
Wait, what are we rolling for?
Do you want to know what it is, or
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I'll roll history.
Inside go.
okay?
I do not know what this creature is.
Katsuo is very annoyed that this has just interrupted him yet again.
God damn it. March.
Court, you know exactly now what this is, and the reason why it's not going to accept the offerings as a meal replacement is because this thing only eats cucumbers and internal organs.
Oh, time to offer up spleen.
Yep. And the primary way it does this is by dragging its victims into the lake and then sucking them out the rectum.
Oh,
What?
That's
Yeah.
what Kappas do. They eat your
That is-
tokens by your ass.
Jesus, that just takes eating ass to a whole new level.
Yep.
I'm gonna do a history to see if I know what this is.
Okay.
Or religion, which one?
History, probably.
History's fine.
Yeah.
Yes, Hideaki, Hachizuka, you know exactly what the hell this thing is that is trying to drag you back into the water.
Are these neutral spirits usually are evil or?
They're pretty neutral. They're just trying to get by. They're like imps, water imps. However, you would remember that one very important thing about kappas is that they are incredibly polite. They always recognize common courtesies and specific formalities.
Good old history tells you these things.
But Hachizuka's bad at that.
I mean, it's that or get your ass eaten. Make a decision.
Could just attack it with sword.
It's a spirit.
Yeah, I could still hit it with it once I have my Wrathful Smite on.
You know, it is probably better that we get rid of this thing because apparently it's dragging people into the swamp and then eating their ass.
Eating their ass.
People getting murdered by getting their asses eaten, literally.
Hachizuka having a flashback of the wars and evil spirits and corrupted spirits being used against him knows exactly what this is. He had
He's
some
a
nightmares
warrior!
about this. His brow flinched a little bit in a little bit of fear. And immediately, since his sword was still on for my melee attack, fucking attacks this thing.
Alrighty, roll initiative.
Initiative.
Remember to select your token.
Oh, good.
Oh my god, we did it right.
Oh, look!
You did it!
Me and Shido doing
Good
work.
work, guys.
20 initiative there.
Yep.
For some reason, though, Katsuo is first.
That's because I rolled first. That'll change accordingly.
Oh, okay, yeah, because...
No. I'll fix it in a second.
Well, yeah, that's neat. If you mouse over the turn order, it'll,
It'll tell you where everybody is.
Oh, I can actually put the 1d6 in here, actually.
Damn.
You're creating that spell finally?
I'm creating the extra add-on for when I'm doing this special thing. The Wrathful Smite.
Okay. Well, Shido, it is your turn to deal with the kappa.
Okay. Quick question.
Yes.
Can I modify a spell not to do damage, but to knock back much further?
Yeah, I would. If you've got something that lets you modify spells, like the shape of them, I could see that. It might do like maybe a quarter of the damage, and you can slightly better pinpoint direct it.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted the distance to be more than 10 feet, that was all. But I'll give that a shot. Let's see what we can do with that. I'm gonna try and knock the kappa away from Hachizuka and back into the river. Quite a ways. Let's do this.
Okay. So is the 9 just to hit it in the first
That's
place?
additional damage.
Okay. Con save. Wow.
Yeah.
Nope.
So it just knocked back.
Okay. It is knocked back.
Yeah, just remove the 9 and just double the knockback distance, and that's good. It can go away.
Yep. Hachisuka, your pants go with it.
Great. We don't have a robe? Like a...
You have...
umbrella?
Yeah, you have Hakama and a robe. Yep.
Wouldn't Oh my God, the haikus are coming true.
They are.
They
Oh,
are.
no! At least I
Okay.
have a robe to cover me somewhat-ish.
Not completely
You do.
exposed, no.
Also, what's the rest of the army doing at this time? Wouldn't they attack?
I mean,
They're probably a little ways back.
yeah, they're following more slowly. You march straight through, forgetting that these people have to navigate the woods
All
and
the shit they're carrying.
with all the shit they're hauling for you.
Okay. He's back in the water, I'm taking it?
Yes, it is in fact back in the water.
Is it coming back?
Oh, it will.
Of course.
Hachisuka, it's your turn.
Dang it.
Hachisuka is not actually that phased by this. He is not of the really embarrassed sort.
I mean,
He stands
you're
up.
getting your ass eaten.
Yeah, exactly. He stands up, and how far is this thing away?
It is now... How far back did that knock it? I know usually it's 10 feet.
That will be 20. So yeah,
Okay. So it's 20 feet away from you.
in water.
In water.
Doesn't matter, Chaos Bolt can hit through water Eldritch Energies. Fuck you, you little demon shit.
Roll.
Not gonna let you eat my ass today.
You can't have my booty.
Is that not a hit?
I
That
don't
is
think
not a
it
hit.
is.
No. You miss the kappa.
You hear a splat sound as this spell hits the water, I guess?
Yep, it goes...
I'll tell
Just
you what
like that.
damage type it is. Hold on. That just hits the water. It
That
is...
should be useful.
I can't do... It is, it's poison.
So there's like a little pool of poison in this river. Good job.
Yep.
You've poisoned the river, you bastard.
That amount of poison is not that much. It would be like just disintegrated into the river.
The river tastes slightly more acidic.
Like, exactly.
Honestly, would you really want to drink from the river where a kappa has been eating people's asses?
No, I'd probably drink the acid more than that, or the poison.
Yep.
Scripted it
Well-
in his ass once.
Jeez. It's got
Yeah,
his
we're
turn.
really hung up on the idea
Yeah.
that this thing sucks people's assholes to get fucking organs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really funny.
Is that an actual part of?
Yes.
Yes, that is a huge part of their weird
What the
mythology.
hell?
Younglord said
Japan?
YouTube.com.
A lot of Japanese
Younglord
ones.
said
This
25
video is
seconds.
pertinent. This video clip is pertinent to the battle between Hachisuka and the turtle sucker thing.
Oh no.
Kappa Arch. He wants to pop one. He's Kappa.
Appa.
So, Andy's Thingo is fried marmot.
Fried marmot. Well, Katsuo is not really going to go into the water to fight this thing, so he's just going to walk over and stand next to Hachisuka on the, is it a beach? Is that what it's called? A beach? If it's like this?
It's the
It's not,
A shoreline.
There's
it's
no
not even
sand.
really a shore. It's like it's called a bank.
There we go.
Well, I guess he's going to stand by the bank with his sword, still in his sheath, ready to do some Aijutsu magic, but otherwise, that's about it for him, because he's not going to wait out there and try and kill it.
But I'm
Yes.
the Ayatsu guy.
The both
And I'm your student!
Yeah.
Oh, that's
just
true.
Copy pieces of your fancy sword technique.
Yep. And that's my turn.
Okay. What is Hideaki doing?
Hideaki.
I could take a shot at him.
You're
guess.
probably more angry at this man than all of us. Your fucking river has an ass-eating spirit in it.
Yeah,
I mean, Cuff are generally considered.
I'm gonna reposition myself here.
Which is odd considering they eat asses, but hey, they're relatively easy to deal with if you're polite.
Yeah.
He started it. He tried to pull him into the river, and then he threw a fucking cucumber at me.
That's a compliment.
He did it aggressively.
It's an aggressive compliment.
It's an aggressive compliment, but I mean, you could just try being polite to the little guy if you want. Whatever you want to do.
Is it the nature
I don't know. It seems like everyone's taking a shot at him at this point, right?
Katsuo hasn't.
That's just because he hasn't gotten near it yet.
And I don't like the idea of a spirit eating people by
Through
sucking
the ass.
sucking organs out of their asshole.
All you gotta do is politely ask him not to.
Really? So can I just shout at him now, like, stop trying to eat our friend, please?
You'd probably have to be a bit more polite about it than that, but yes.
Yeah, you could literally shout that.
Oh, little water spirit, please stop trying to eat our friend. Pretty please.
Out the ass. You have to
I'm not
say
gonna
out the ass.
No, I'm not gonna say that. Didn't we have something, right? A liver or whatever?
We just carry livers around with us.
I don't know. I thought it was part of the offerings that we had. Like it's like an animal liver or something.
Oh, yeah.
No.
No,
We have walnuts.
we have just,
Well, he won't take the walnuts.
we tried to give him those already.
Yeah.
He didn't want
You have what is
We've
it? You had
established that he does not like
mochi and-
walnuts.
They're not assy enough.
Yeah.
Oh no, I got out roll 20. Bad. Why did that happen?
Shoot lightning into the water spirit.
Right, I do have to make an attack. Okay.
I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to.
You can literally just shout that at the sea and be done.
Yeah.
I'll just summon my staff. I'll summon my bow of water.
Okay.
I summon the bow of water to fight the water spirit in the water.
I mean, the only person here not at risk of drowning is Hideaki, so...
Yeah, he's literally in the best spot. Well, it is now the Kappa's turn, and he very politely looks at Hideaki and says, Well, I respect this point of view. I'm very hungry, and he looks very edible. And he's going to swim up, and because you did try and hurt him, Hachisuka, he is going to swing his cucumber to hit you.
Try it!
Nat 20.
With the amount of ones I've rolled, I wouldn't be surprised.
Nope.
That's a 9.
That's
Not
not
even
very
close. And I get a counterattack!
Okay, try and counterattack.
Well, no, roll a dex save.
Yeah, I say, do you have to do a roll for that for your character?
Yeah. You're knocked prone!
So he's
Yeah, I mean, you
knocked
knock him-
over.
He falls right back into the pond, which is his natural state of vast superiority. So he's going to take his second attack and bite your ankle.
After I kicked him.
Doesn't like being kicked.
Yeah.
Try to bite me.
He more than tries.
Ah, you actually hit with that.
Yep.
The sucking power that he's got to have to suck out your.
I just had an idea.
What's that?
Okay.
We left 3 bandit bodies. One of them got blown up, but there's still at least one good bandit body, right?
Squishified.
There is.
Yeah.
You just run off to go fetch that?
No. I'm going to try to negotiate with the Kappa.
Okay. He scrambled back onto the bank and bites Hachisuka's leg.
You little piece of...
And yeah. Now it's Shino's turn.
to try and trap him on the bank with Entangle.
Okay. Okay. I will roll a strength save.
What is my strength save? I should check that. It is
Purple.
13. You pass.
All right. He bats your vines away with his cucumber.
Man, this Kappa is a master
Yeah.
with these cucumbers, apparently.
This is now
Yep.
difficult terrain, so everything around us in 20 feet takes movement penalty.
Okay. Hachisuka, it's your turn.
Fucking swinging at this motherfucker.
Swing your sword.
Lord Hachisuka, enough, please.
I agree. We are wasting time.
As he has his pants and is bit by the thing. Hachisuka is not listening right now.
You rolled.
Alrighty.
That's a hit, I take it.
No. Yeah. No, it's not. That's a 15. Nope.
Nope.
Fucking 16 AC, little ass, small ass motherfucker.
He's literally got a shell, so I assume his AC is pretty high.
Yeah.
Well, that's all I get to do.
It's Katsuo's
Katsuo.
turn.
Katsuo rolls his eyes, pulls out his sword. We are wasting time! And swings at this thing's neck.
Jesus Christ. Okay, you hit the kappa.
How much damage do you do? 9.
9 damage.
It's probably not enough to kill him.
It is not, and the kappa is upset. Your sword clangs off of its shell, but leaves a good nick in its neck. And you splish just a tiny bit of the water in its head out, and it looks at you, very, very upset. And it is going to react by hitting you with its cucumber.
Reactionary. You've upset
Well,
it with a reactionary attack.
You do not hit. Does that mean I can make a reaction attack?
Yes, it does.
Yep. This cucumber smacks against Katsuo's armor with all of the might and power of a cucumber smacking against metal armor.
I mean, it's
Well,
ceramic.
it'd be ceramic and lacquer.
Ceramic.
But...
Katsuo stares down at this creature, then swings his sword again at it.
Okay.
And
That is a hit. So you hit the kappa.
There you go.
6.
Alrighty. He is still alive, and more upset. It is now Hideaki's turn.
Be our diplomat now.
Alright. Everyone, enough! Hideaki turns his attention to the spirit, or the... What are they considered, like imps?
They're water spirits. They're like
Yeah.
imps. Yeah, they're water
Okay.
imps.
Low-level water spirits, basically.
Little water spirit, I would ask that you forgive me and my party. We are coming from circumstances that have left us somewhat hostile. I can offer you the meal that you seek, not in my companions, but in the form of a fresh kill that we have made.
Okay, an important question. When you are
Okay.
offering, do you do the very traditional sort of offering where you bow a bunch and then you point where it is and then you bow again?
Yes. I would assume that Hideaki behaves this way because he's familiar with these formalities, but I, as a person, am just not.
Okay. As you bow the second time, the kappa lowers its cucumber, sort of hugging it to itself, and it bows in turn. And as it does so, the water spills from the little indentation cup it has upon its head, and it falls over and begins to wither.
You killed it with kindness.
Well, it's not dead. It keeps hugging its little cucumber, um, and starts struggling slowly back towards the water.
So it doesn't take a turn this time?
Yeah, it cannot take a turn.
Okay.
It is trying to get back into the water. So it is now Shino's turn. If you want to do anything. Otherwise, you've technically defeated the Kappa.
No, we'll do something. Just because it's a water spirit and Shino doesn't really like them very much.
Wow.
Hey, you can be racist if you're
Sounds
a
a
weird person.
little racist.
You can't.
It's just like, you're a water spirit? Gross. Okay, so we're stopping combat now?
I don't think so.
I mean, it can't attack, so yeah, it's not combat. You can just kind of keep doing what you want.
Okay.
Considering
pants here,
the
guys.
conditions...
Your pants are like over here in the water.
Floating.
I mage hand my pants back.
And your pants weigh more than 10 pounds?
I don't think so.
Waterlogged?
I mean,
there's
they're
no way pants like weigh more than 10 pounds. It's cloth.
Waterlogged?
waterlogged. They'd be pretty heavy, but they're not. They're probably not quite like 10 pounds.
No.
Now then, considering the condition that my companions have left you in, we are willing to bring this offering to you.
The little kappa actually looks elated, but it seems too weak to really respond as it keeps very slowly, like, crawling towards the water, desperate to get back in the water.
Can I try to assist him in putting some water into his little hat,
Taco's just
his
booting.
little bowl?
Wow! Hideaki goes to gently add water back to its little skull indentation, and Katsuo boots him into the water. He
Boots me
immediately...
into the water?
No, he boots the kappa into
Can
the
I
water.
attempt to put myself between his boot and the kappa?
Sure.
Okay. Do I need to roll for that?
Yeah, I would say that's like athletics.
Athletics?
Yeah,
Not acrobatics?
it could be acrobatics.
I'm better at
Yeah.
acrobatics.
I guess.
Yeah, if you're better with acrobatics, go with acrobatics.
7.
But not swell enough, apparently.
Yeah, not swell enough. And Katsuo boots the little kappa back into the water. He's immediately refreshed, and though he gives you a bit of a baleful look, Katsuo, he swims back to the shore and offers up his cucumber.
Giving you the cucumber. Take it away.
Katsuo stares at this creature, giving him the cucumber, and to say he's annoyed would be an understatement. He is the living embodiment of exasperated. Then he looks over to Hideaki, as if asking him silently if this was some sort of strange thing that these creatures did, give people cucumbers.
I'm healing myself.
You technically just saved his life, so he has to. He's offering you the cucumber as a gift in recompense.
But Katsuo doesn't. I don't think Katsuo knows of this creature, so he's just sort of looking at Hideaki like, what's he doing?
That's right, you didn't even do a history check, did you?
Oh yeah.
He's been too annoyed.
Hideaki gives Katsuo a small nod to indicate, yeah, you should accept this offering.
Katsuo sighs and puts away Yoru no Uta and bends down to take the cucumber.
And suddenly you're married.
I apologize. You were trying to eat my friend. I like my friends.
You see that? He considers you a friend.
The kappa nods respectfully and sinks back into the water, and with a quiet sort of grumble says, if you require any help in any of the wetlands around here, I will let my brethren know so you can navigate it more easily. And then he sinks beneath the water and sort of starts swimming away.
He doesn't want that body? Alright.
No, he'll go find that body later.
Did I just get a summon?
No.
Not quite.
You gained friendly reputation with the Kappa faction.
Yes.
Put it in
By
video.
booting one and trying to kill it.
You didn't try to kill it. You saved his life.
But before that, he did try to kill it.
Well, it attacked us first, technically. Kappas don't consider that insult.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, this was a time. Let us be on.
This has been an event.
Also, meanwhile, fucking Hachisuka's like still pantsless or got soggy pants.
He's drying them out right now. He's kind of like,
Actually, would it be okay if we stopped here for the evening?
Sure.
Yeah, for show.
Faux show.
Funny though. I was like, okay, back to the trail.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get ourselves back on the trail, and then yeah.
yeah, we seem to be on the trail right here. That's
Yeah.
fine.
You're on the trail.
We're in
so.
a good spot to end. That's fine.
All right.
Massive
So you-
ass.
no one was consumed. So we will pause here and pick it up next Monday.
Yay!
Monday. Hooray!
Okie doke.
I mean, this was definitely an interesting. We solved the bandit puzzle, which inadvertently allowed us to solve the Kappa puzzle.
Hooray!
Yeah.
Kappa.
I mean,
The
Kappa,
time was
Kappa.
not a fan of that
we could
thing.
have kept going with our regular solution to problems.
You could have.
Yeah. See,
You
I'm
could've.
not a fan of that. As my character tries to handle things
Yeah.
in a non-violent way, if
Moderately
possible.
Diplomatic. But usually
We're
doesn't-
not barbarians, guys. We didn't make a 4 barbarian party.
We made a 2 barbarian
Yes.
party.
Yep.
Hachisuka's actually more mage now than
Wasn't
anything.
talking about Hachisuka.
Oh.
I am Katsuo.
Look there, Kappa, steel pants, smash.
Well, I
He
mean,
that-
he,
dragged me into the water and tried to eat his. Remember, Hachisuka has.
No,
a
I'm just saying, like
severe-
that's how we would have reacted if we rolled a full barbarian party.
Yeah.
Yes, Hachisuka has a major fear of spirits in general. So if one
I
is definitely
mean-
going for him, he is not good with that.
I mean, if you guys want, I could bring back Bork.
No.
No.
There's no words.
Let's do it.
Oi! Smash! Toto!
Turtle Man, steel pants, we smash now.
Looks like soup.
Walk! Eat! Toto! Before it eat!
Please tell me that's actually how you talked.
Yes.
Oh,
It
the
is.
entire time.
Okay.
Oi! Am Bork!
And he was just
Oi.
stupid. It was absolutely god awful.
And this is Bork, who rolled 3 natural 20s.
You sound like Caesar from Planet of the Apes.
Wait a minute. This character rolled
It
3
not
natural 20s in
kill.
a row and killed God.
Ape!
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
the God Killer. I wonder, do you still have that on YouTube, Cora? I'd love to watch that again sometime. Oh, sadness.
I have some of them, but not all of them.
I still like to hear the voice because it hurts my throat, but I like to listen to it. Maybe one day I'll bring back Bork.
I mean, Bork's pretty happy at this point.
Hey man, you can bring Bork to the D&D party that we're doing.
I thought it was
Since-
only Marietta.
Well, we're
Is it
doing it
online?
on Roll20. No, we're doing it online.
I thought you were,
Roll
yeah,
20.
I thought it was a local thing.
Oh.
Well, it's semi like most of us are in Marietta, but a couple of us are not. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Maybe
we're
if I
doing
have
it through
time.
Roll20.
Maybe if I have time, as it is, my schedule's fucking.
Yeah, I know, but the way our scheduling is going right now, I don't know if we're even gonna. We'll see if we start next week, but
I will say
we
one
haven't
day.
even
that-
gotten.
Yeah.
We haven't even gotten all of our characters together yet.
I will say one day though, I'm going to get a group together for Rogue Trader. I need
You know
it.
how to run it?
One day.
I'm gonna teach myself